Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, or good morning if you are in Asia. Maneco64 here, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Just wanted to do a quick chat today, live stream, probably half an hour. Take your questions, try to answer them, and have a chat. I see there's a few here, 13 people already. I see some of you are waiting. Happy Easter, everyone. If to all of you who celebrate Easter. Wendy Bevan is here. Lord Humongous. David Morsilli from Rhode Island. Vbjorn Gritten from Norway. Steve Ince from nearby in the UK. Hi, Olaf. Good evening, Olive. Hi, What a Shambles. Labuk, John Lord, Malibu. Really nice to see everyone here. Hotspot Metals, John Corner. Paul Johnston from Montana. Yeah, I've seen you comment a few times, Paul, in the comment section as well. Universal Vibes. Was a beautiful day in the UK today. Oh yeah, it was. I played golf early today. I teed off around 8 o'clock. It was like a summer's day. A bit cool early on, but it warmed up quite quickly. Yeah, Billy's not here right now. He's with my wife and my daughter in the other part of the house. So yeah, Lord Humongous, I saw the link you sent me. It's the 23rd week that they've been protesting the yellow vests. It doesn't stop, does it? Hi, Pablo. One thing, some of you know I subscribe to The Economist. I know it's a globalist magazine. I got this week's the latest edition. You get it on a Saturday in the post. And I was just looking at the back of The Economist. It has a section about economic and financial indicators. So here it is. This is how it looks about all the major countries in the world. And I was just looking at the budget balance, which is, whether a country has a surplus or a deficit. And out of all these countries here, if you notice, they're all in the red except for a few European countries, but everyone, all the major countries you can see here, this line, they're all mostly in the red. It just goes to show me that the whole world, and all the monetary authorities don't know what they're doing, and they're going to continue to print because that's what it is. Running a budget deficit, it means that every country in the world needs to keep borrowing government bonds, and that's money in our system. So I just thought that was interesting. I know it's not surprising to us, but just thought sometimes it's good to look at the figures. So busy day in the garden. Yeah, we didn't do any gardening today. We did some last week, but maybe tomorrow I might need to cut the grass a little bit. The grass is growing quicker now in the spring. Christine Shiner, happy Easter to everyone. Michael Kobilecki, it's so sad to see no info coming through about Yellow Vest movement. Yeah, the only thing place I see that's covering the Yellow Vest every week is RT, the Russian, Russia Today, their YouTube channel. S Walker, hi S Walker. Thank you, Crypto Bird Dog. Thank you, Nacho Fu, for the super chat donation, $1.99. I appreciate it. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about quickly, I just decided this a few minutes ago. I recommended this book over a month ago, I think, and it was actually one of the viewers of the channel who recommended it to me. A viewer contacted me through Twitter, and sent me a message, and we chatted. And the viewer said, "Oh, you should read this book." And it's called The Mandibles by Lionel Shriver. It's a woman, actually, Lionel Shriver. She's based in London, but she's American. So The Mandibles, a family, 2029 to 2047. And it's a great fiction book, but it also talks about our current economic system and what could happen. I highly recommend it. I read it in over a weekend, a long weekend, and I couldn't put it down. I'm sure some of you have read it already. Um, yeah, it talks a lot about what we talk about, how the system is not sustainable. Mike Mendiola, love your show and learned a lot. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, and thanks for the for following my videos in the show. David Barr, happy Easter from Canada. Happy Easter, David. California West Coast housing market started collapsing on Friday. The data is disturbing. Samantha Jane, hey, Mary, buy another load of gold on Monday or Tuesday. Think she's going to blow soon. Yeah, I mean, I hold on to my precious metals, gold and silver. And it's funny because I was watching this afternoon, I watched a movie called Triple Frontier. It's new on Netflix. It's an action. I like action. It's an action movie about some retired special forces guys who go on a private mission to South America to take down a drug lord and to get his money. And they find that the money in where he's like locked, where he's in the jungle in his house, the money's all within the walls, and it's all U.S. paper dollars, Federal Reserve notes. And just got me thinking, they had such a hard time taking all that money. And at the end, they only had about 5 million. I know it's a lot of money, but they had like hundreds of millions in bags, but they had to let go of a lot of it. And I thought, if they had some gold bars, it would have been much easier. The other thing that it got me thinking about is how fickle paper money and fiat money is, because governments can just like end it. It's all on the faith and confidence, but gold and silver are not dependent on faith and confidence. Gold and silver are tangible. So that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit after seeing that movie. Hopefully I didn't spoil George Seifert. Sorry about that. It's still good. I don't think I told you too much, but I recommend it if you like that kind of movie. Pablo, no relation to Maria Shriver. No. Couch Potatoes Kennedy, how far can world debt expand when it hasn't blown up so far? Quadrillion, bazillion. Yeah, the limit is up until the point where people lose confidence in the debt, in the money. Yeah, they can keep it going for a while longer, but yeah, right now, I guess, derivatives wise, the notional amount of derivatives is over a quadrillion, but overall debt, I'm not sure. It's probably in the hundreds and to hundreds of trillion. Homeless crisis. Yeah, I saw an article. I think I didn't read it, but I saw a headline. How cities like San Francisco, LA, and Seattle on the West Coast, especially, where there's so much poverty now, and that they look completely different than they did 20, 30 years ago. Abdul Ghulam, what is your religion, brother? I think that's irrelevant. We're not talking about religion here. We're talking about markets and money. I don't practice any religion, but I mean, I was brought up in Brazil, so my parents, grandparents were Catholic, but my parents didn't practice it either. So it was just like because everyone did it, I would say. But yeah, I was brought up in a Christian country. V. Bjorn Gritton, do rent prices also go down when the bubble bursts? I think they would. Yeah, well, in the last decade, I would say one of the reasons why rents have gone up so much is because interest rates have been kept so artificially low, and mortgages have been really cheap. So people, who have some money to invest, instead of putting in the bank, they've been buying, properties or real estate, second home, like as an investment to rent out, and the yield on properties and rents are higher than in the bank. But a lot of these people, they've leveraged themselves as well. So part of the rents they used to pay mortgages on. So if the real estate market collapses, it could impact also people who the landlords. So yeah, it could be quite serious as well, and it could bring down rentals because uh, landlords could be desperate to rent their property because they need to pay off their mortgages. Oh, thanks there, Steve Walker, for doing your job. Hi, News for All. Nice to see you here. Aaron Levy, when moon for Bitcoin? Well, I've noticed that today, cryptocurrencies, especially non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, have taken a bit of a hit. Like Litecoin is down almost 7%, Bitcoin Cash 4.5%, but Bitcoin is down just about 1%. Uh, I'm not sure when. I'm holding on to some of the cryptocurrencies I have, and I'm quite comfortable in doing that. I did add on to EOS in November and December, and I actually did sell a little bit of the EOS that I added on last November, December, and I did quite well with that. Not all of it, just took a little bit of chips off the table, but I'm in it for the long term though. News for All, difference between Basel III and Basel IV. Well, I haven't heard of Basel IV, but I would say that Basel IV would, yeah, I don't think there is a Basel IV. Basel III is the current, set of rules for the banking world, brought to us by the Bank for International Settlements. There could be, oh, some people think Basel IV will be Bitcoin. Who knows? I think there will only be a Basel IV after the next financial crisis. Chaz Atwell, Eurozone is in a mess. I think not only the Eurozone is in a mess, but every country in the world. I don't know if you saw who said that, Jazz. I was showing people in this live stream when I started. This is the economic and financial indicators for the world, the latest edition. And you look at budget balance, most of the world, the major countries in the world, look at that. They're all in the red. So it's not just the Eurozone. Actually, the countries that have a budget surplus, one of them is Germany, who's in the Eurozone. The other one is the Netherlands, who's in the Eurozone. You've got the Scandinavian countries are running surpluses. Russia is running a 2.4% budget surplus. So very few countries are running surpluses, and the two major ones that are running surpluses are in the Eurozone. The US, according to this, is running a 4.9% budget deficit. So there you go. I think the US is living on borrowed time, but every country as well. QE4 will come before Basel 4. No, CME needs to be stopped manipulating. Well, it's not the CME, S. Walker, that manipulates the markets. It's the participants, that use that exchange. But the CFTC, SCC, the regulators, they will not go after the bullion banks because they're doing the job for the governments. So you saw, years ago, there was the investigation into silver and nothing came out of it. One thing I wanted to talk about as well quickly here is that the commitment of trader report, the COT report for gold that came out on, I think, the latest one that came out late last week showed a huge net, commercials closed 41,000 short positions in gold, and they increased their long positions by 13,000. So net 54,000 commercials or bullion banks when net long 54,000 gold. And that's as of Tuesday last week. So I think that could be significant for precious metals. I'm not saying they're going to go up right away, but I think it shows that the bullion banks used the move lower in the last week or two to short cover. So I just wanted to put that through there about the COT report. Someone is asking him opinions on BSV. Not sure what that is. Crypto market analyst, BSV. Sorry, maybe you can tell me. Trivia, what's the most easily obtainable commodity to mankind today? Water? I don't know. I like trivia questions, but I don't know what it is. Bitcoin Satoshi vision. Well, I guess the Satoshi vision is one of decentralized sound money. That's how can I say trustless? I think is that the Satoshi vision? That's what I think it's about, isn't it? Oh, is it a coin? Oh, I haven't seen that. Is it a fork from Bitcoin? BCH is Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things going on in cryptocurrencies. I don't follow all of it. I've got quite a big, I've got some Bitcoin, some Ethereum. I've got quite a bit of EOS, and I've got over 50 tokens that I've received as airdrops from the EOS blockchain. So, and I have got quite a bit of Steam because I download all my videos on DTube and Steam it. Can you tell us about Hillary and Gaddafi Libyan gold? Well, I'm not sure what happened to the Libyan gold. I know that Goldman Sachs had billions of dollars of the Libyan sovereign wealth funds. Yeah, the thing about Libya is Gaddafi had become quite close to the West. He was even friends with Tony Blair, and then the West stabbed him in the back. But as for the Libyan gold, I know that Gaddafi wanted to start a gold dinar to help finance projects in the sub-Saharan Africa, but that's all out the window, unfortunately. I don't know what Hillary's done to the gold. S. Walker, I haven't had the chance to see that Chris Powell video yet. Yeah, I've I followed. I've been following Gada since 2002, 2003. So I know I've done an interview here in my channel with Bill Murphy, and yeah. So I will. I haven't had the time, but I will listen to it. Pablo Pina, your view on Ripple XRP? It seems to be a great interest for global payment. Yeah, a lot of people argue that XRP is the banker's cryptocurrency, and it's possible. Like gold and silver trade as XAU and XAG in the foreign exchange market. If you and if you go on Reuters and you go to the FX page, gold is quoted together with all the major currencies there in the foreign exchange. So the fact that it's XRP, yeah, that gives me maybe a hint that this is going to be the banker's cryptocurrency. Who knows? Is that an oxymoron? A little bit, because that we know the banksters don't like centralization and competition, and that's what cryptocurrencies are supposed to be. Thank you. Sorry, I don't understand the Arabic alphabet there, but thank you. You're saying you respect, appreciate so much your channel. Thank you. News for all, the world needs a gold standard again so the bankers can't control our lives anymore. I agree, but it has to come from the grassroots. What a gold standard means is uh, honest money. It means balanced budgets. It means small government. Uh, it means free markets and rule of law. And until the general public wants that, we're not going to have it. People have been unfortunately spoiled that the government and the state can provide them something for nothing. That mentality has to end, or else we're not going to get it. Dwayne Robertson Mayer, do you have any interest in privacy coins? I've heard a lot of people talk about that. There is one coin that's come out, or an altcoin that's come out in the EOS blockchain called PEOS, and I received some of those coins through airdrop, and I've actually added on to it. You should look it up. That it's to do with privacy on the EOS blockchain. If you travel to Denver, I could get you a great deal on a solar setup. George Seifert, I think there's a big push for a reset to prop up China. Well, and I think the problem with a reset is that China is such a big creditor, i.e., they hold so much, paper U.S. debt, paper debt, that they're probably accumulating a lot of gold. They probably have a lot more gold than we think they have, the official amount. So I guess the U.S. has got to give them time. I think probably the U.S. and China are both involved in the manipulation of gold. I think China's probably saying, yeah, let us first accumulate gold and then you can devalue the dollar, and give us, and we don't want to pay too much for that gold. Dwayne, it's just this POS It's, yeah, POS. That's the coin. Let me see if I can find the website. POS. Yeah, here's the link for POS. No, my buddy, excuse me, dry throat, all the talking. No, my buddy from Maine. Hey, people, give Mario a thumbs up and mash the like button. Thank you, No. Yes, S. Walker, I think that's what's going on. And that's why we've had, since 2013, 14, we've been in a range between 1100 and 1375. Samantha Jane, I always watch the ads since that is the way they can get a tip if everyone watches the ads and doesn't click skip. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for one of the live streams I did in January, I wouldn't have known that most of my viewers weren't seeing any ads, and I hadn't realized that I hadn't set up the settings for my ads were wrong, and that helped a lot. And yeah, if everyone, I'm not saying people should watch all the ads. You can skip it, of course, but it helps. My revenues have gone up quite a bit since I switched that because the ads are showing. And in that way, I don't have to keep asking for donations or people go to the maneco64 store. I did that as, I don't like to keep asking that. I'd rather just have it as a free, uh, channel. And of course, with the ads. Well, Jazz, why let China accumulate all the gold and then become the world's creditor? Well, because China's been producing a lot of the goods that Western Europe and the United States are buying. So, they're not stupid. They don't just want to do something, work for pieces of paper that are worthless. So, and they are the biggest, they are the biggest creditor, I would say, them and Japan. But I think the best thing, for trade, I listen to, you guys should look up, I'll write it here, Detlef Schlichter. You should Google that name or search that name on YouTube, and he's got some really interesting videos. This guy used to work in the financial markets, and he wrote a book about how all the fiat money is going to go to zero. He talked about how actually under a gold standard, money is neutral. It's not political, and it actually facilitates trade. It facilitates balance. So that's why it's even more important for the world to go back to sound money. Yeah, Detlef Schlichter, he's German, and it's funny because the last firm I worked for in the city, there was a guy there, another broker. I knew him, didn't know him very well, but one of his clients was in the past had been Detlef Schlichter. I think he worked for a firm called Western Asset Management. He was a fund manager in California. And this guy that I knew in my firm was a bond broker and used to be his broker. And I learned about Detlef, I think, in 2011, because the guy I used to work with said, oh, he wrote this book about the end of all, paper currencies. And at the time, I was well into to looking at these things. Rome didn't fall, it crashed. Well, Rome, I mean, it was, you can see there's a chart of how much they debase the silver coinage, and how Rome kind of it took, I don't know, 150, 200 years. It was slower, I would say. Hey, JA hashtag S, he's late. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to do just a few more minutes. I'll take a few more questions, uh, and then I'll call it a day. I'm trying to keep these live streams quite short because I think that's better, and also for later if people want to watch the recording. When someone sees an hour and 10 minutes, it puts them off, but 30 minutes is better. Okay, so I'll take one or two more questions. Lord Humongous, all that money to rebuild Notre Dame, Macron has pissed off the Gilets jaunes. Well, a lot of the money has been pledged by very wealthy people. The other thing I read is that the reason the very wealthy in France are doing this is because they're going to get a lot of tax breaks. So it's not all for the greater good. George Seifert, did Billy eat his Cadbury egg? No, because I don't try to give that to Billy, but I did buy him a toy this week. It's like a bunny toy, a squeaky toy. So he had a toy. Pablo Pina, Mara, any outlook in the case in Italy with central bank gold belonging to Italians and not the banksters? I haven't read any further about that. But one thing I would say, hopefully, the Italian government and the Italian people won't make the mistake of taking the gold from the Bank of Italy and splurging it. I think if the Italian people take possession of the gold again, the Italian treasury, it should be used to back their currency. That would be great if Italy came back, came with a gold-backed lira. That would be one for the books. Last question. Low blood pressure. Why does everyone agree with the COMEX prices? They didn't even sell gold. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of the major banks, major funds, speculators trade, COMEX, futures, gold, and it sets the price, unfortunately, of gold. And it sets the price on the LBMA. That's the reference price they use. Okay, everyone, thanks for showing up on this Easter Sunday. Tomorrow is a holiday in the UK, but the markets will be open. I think I will be doing another video, and yeah, I wish you all a great rest of the weekend. Some of you might have a day off tomorrow here in the UK. So have a great day. Take care, everyone. Bye. Oh, and before I go, if any of you are new to the channel, maybe think about subscribing. Take care. Thanks.